Hi, it's Michael from Culture Talk and Tours, and I'm here in Taipei City, Taiwan, at one of my favorite galleries, Vins Gallery, and I'm here for the show by American artist BiJiJoo. BiJiJoo, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming.
And your show is Compartments.
That's right.
Okay, so I've just arrived, and we're just meeting BiJiJoo. Do you use the whole name?
Yeah, or I mean, I usually just go by B. But yeah,
okay.
BiJiJoo, yeah.
So we've seen your work on Instagram, and he has a wonderful film where it's showing all of the detail. Now, what I found interesting is you're using a leading is almost like it's like spraying on, so it's like airbrush.
Yeah, it's a combination of techniques. I actually started out as just an oil painter. I started oil painting when I was 9.
Right.
So I was only oil painting until maybe about 5-6 years ago. I got into airbrushing for the first time, just because I love the gradients, and also from a technique perspective, I like that old style of kind of grisaille, where you kind of build up different layers and kind of bring out details. But I found that airbrush is just great for that, just because you can like get these first layers, and it has these wonderful effects.
And you're also using oil pastels. Is this oil pastel here?
It's oil paint stick, so it actually dries. So unlike oil pastels, if you were to use oil pastels, that would just totally smear.
Yes, you'd have to seal it.
But it's just like oil paint in stick form.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
no, I haven't seen that before.
It's like painting with lipstick. It's just such a delight.
Well, and I've said on the show many times, one of the things I love about different artists, if you have something that has so much going on, so you can always, if you buy this, you're going to see this tulip. And you'll see some folds in the Buddha that you didn't see before. And I just find all of your work is just so detailed. Like, is this wallpaper? Is this like a wallpaper in the background here?
Yes.
Yeah,
some of this, actually, I started this series, it's about 7 new paintings in this show. About 5-6 months ago.
Okay.
And initially I started by just kind of finding wallpaper sources and doing that, but with the other work you'll see I kind of transitioned to, instead of using kind of pre-existing patterns, just started using, I have tons of old drawings, and essentially just free-form drawing. So that's where some of this one uses some pre-existing patterning from some old vintage wallpaper, but some of the other ones just use some sketching.
Okay. And you have the tile as well.
Yeah. I've always been drawn to tile work.
Okay.
So this is kind of a combination of. I've been making art my whole life. Almost 50. But I mean, it's just so I've just tried so many different things, and so in a way, this is bringing together, in my mind, all these different things. Essentially, I started as kind of I was 9, like a realistic oil painter, but then I got into comic strip art, and I've done conceptual type art. Just through the years, I've just tried all this stuff, and so this just feels really right, because it's like starting, and then I got into kind of these strange animal work for a while, and so that's kind of bringing those characters into the space, but also bringing in all this suite of techniques that I've just dabbled in for years, and so that's why it just feels really good to me from a technique perspective.
And I think it's so interesting that you've got that video showing how you've made some of them. And I just arrived, so I haven't seen all of the paintings, but we're going to see. I know there's some with birds, and you're kind of scratching away the paints. So that is interesting. And then I love this little flower here, so it's very pixelated. It's just such an interesting mix. So we've got a crowd coming, so the opening's about to start. But welcome to Taiwan, wonderful to meet you, and your daughter is also here.
Yes, and some of our artists hanging up alongside.
Okay, so we're upstairs here at Vins Gallery. They've got an upstairs mezzanine and then a downstairs. So we're gonna go downstairs, see more of the paintings, and let's have your opening.
All right,
great to meet you.
Yeah, great meeting you. Thank you.
大家都到了吗 ？OK， 今天很谢谢各位来参加 BiJiJoo 他在 Vins Gallery 的第2档个展。那我记得3年前他的首档个展呢，在亚洲的首档个展就在我们 Vins Gallery。那当然中间有 COVID-19 的关系，所以一直没有再有第2次的个展。那这次的展览，他特别为这次的展览准备了全新的风格。所以各位可以看到，在现场有7幅他全新的作品呢，跟他过去是完全不一样的这个构图，还有这个创作的这个思考的脉络。那他过去的风格呢是比较像在背后这一张，就是有一个 character 一个角色，然后有点可爱，有点奇特的这种风格。那今年开始呢，他会尝试着一些比较新的创作的脉络。那等一下他会稍微简单介绍一下他这次创作的一些概念，还有他的一些思考的这个过程。那晚一点呢，我会请他安排一张小型的导览，因为他非常愿意跟各位介绍一下他新的创作带来的一些对他的一些影响。那当然我要提到他的女儿 Nix， 那他也准备了一些小型的作品在2楼有展出。那因为 Nix 对 BiJiJoo 而言是一个非常重要的灵感来源，他们在创作的过程常常互相讨论，然后互相影响。所以他的作品有充满一些童趣，通常都是由女儿的这个创作而来，我觉得这相当的难得，所以各位可以仔细的去看看他们父女之间共同创作这个画的一些内容，我觉得非常非常的有趣。Please.
All right. Thank you, Vince. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and visiting my show. I'm BiJiJoo. I've worked with Vince in the past, and this is my second solo exhibition at the gallery, and it's been wonderful working with him and his team. Presenting this new work, which is an evolution of this previous character-driven work that I had been doing, where I've been kind of taking those characters and putting them into these architectural spaces to craft kind of a narrative or more of a story, and bring in lots of different styles of painting. I've explored more realistic styles of painting in my past, and then including some abstract work that I've done in the past. And so I'm kind of trying to combine all of that in these, they're almost like video game type levels, or kind of different compartments, or kind of representing interactions of characters and emotions with objects and ephemera and still lifes and just other kind of magical type objects. And so that's kind of where, I'm really happy with where this work is going. I'm super excited to share it with everybody here. And so yes, I thank you all for coming. And of course, if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them as well. But yeah, it's great to see you all here. And so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to do something?
Yes.
不是以前他的所学嘛，他以前都很喜欢画画，然后2018年他女儿因为女儿的关系，出生的关系，他重新回来，重新开始创作，所以他有一些作品很多的因素是来自于他对女儿的爱，所以其实他是一个非常，我跟他沟通过，他是一个非常严谨的人，就是他的思考是非常有科学训练的这一点，但是他同时又非常的感性，对，所以 cheers, thank you so much,
thank you, cheers. And yes, now I
就是呢，我等一下要准备我的下一个计划，那你们就拭目以待。
没有，我先，不是这里没有什么拭目以待，大家都知道嘛，大家都知道，
只有不认识我的人不知道。
对。但是我要说就是说，因为我跟 Andy 认识这么久，然后呢，他是跟北北跟 Patty 在第一次 BiJiJoo 在这边个展，他们认识，是他们一个相遇的一个地方，这个艺廊这个空间，然后这个艺术家这个机缘，所以然后刚好今年 BiJiJoo 回来做第二次的个展，然后 Andy 想说刚好这么一个难得的机会，这么一个难得的这个你知道这个缘分，所以我们想要帮他来这边做一个求婚，没，还没开始，稍安勿躁。你这个结过婚的，你不要那么激动好不好？
我很紧张。好啦，恭喜！
那个不是都要带新娘入场吗？来，我来，好不是？
他是我的灵眼，谢谢大家今天来到 Vins Gallery 参与 BiJiJoo 的展览，耽误大家几分钟。今天对我来讲是一个非常重要的日子。2021年的时候，因为好朋友的邀请来 Vins 艺廊看了这档展览，然后进而收藏了人生第一件作品，也是 Vins 的 BiJiJoo 的收藏。那经过1121天以后，也就是今天2025年6月14日，相同的艺术家又来到台湾，那他本人有出席。我觉得这对我来讲说是再好不过的缘分。那人生最难得的事就是遇到相似的灵魂，遇到你与我灵魂契合，兴趣相似，实在是一种幸运。接下来我想感谢一些好朋友，来自台南、台中的兄弟们特地上来，谢谢大家。还有好兄弟小邱去帮我拿花。还有好兄弟 Eric 也去帮我拿花，赞助我50朵玫瑰花，所以我也会赞助他一样的50朵玫瑰花。然后 Darren 提供了我一些小 tips、小经验，让我没有那么紧张。然后 Amelia 提供了摄影师，捕捉这最精彩的瞬间。然后最后感谢好兄弟 Vins Gallery 提供这么有氛围的场地，一个缘分认识大家。当年没有来这个展览，就不会认识你们，也不会认识培培，也不会捕捉我今天的故事。然后希望在今天大家在场见证之下，我的人生会进入下一个阶段。最后，我想对我的主角说：一辈子很短，短到没有时间浪费纠结还有时间；一辈子也很长，要找到一个有趣的灵魂与我相伴。那个人就是你。
First one is part of this series of 7 new paintings that I've made within the last 5-6 months. They're very recent. You can see there's a few character-driven works from the past. I think it's about 4 years ago. These are about 2 years old, I guess.
他这次的展览呢，就是针对他这次看到这系列的7幅画作，是他过去这4个月所创作的，是主要是今年的创作。然后在过去可以看到那个风格不一样，还有那一幅画呢是在过去4年的创作。
Thank you. Yeah, I have to remember you're translating, so I can't say too much at once. So with this new series of works, I've taken these characters that I've developed, which is they essentially with the character work, these works, the focus is on the character and the movement that they're holding and maybe the emotion or whatever they are expressing. But I tried to build a space around them and put them in this space where they can interact with each other and kind of exchange energies.
他对这次这系列7幅画作的创作的就是源头发想的是来自于右边看到那个黑色的那个人物。那个人物呢，他这一次是想要特别的针对他的表情、动作，还有他的能量，就是 energy， 然后在他这个新的这个创作当中，但是在这7幅画里面呢，他想要增加的是有空间感，所以可以看到它有不同的层次，然后更多的是有他的角色之间的互动跟能量之间的交流，还有特别强调 energy。
So in the past, I've explored many different styles of paintings, including realistic type painting, and then these character-driven works, and then abstract work. And so these new works kind of take all of those components and combine them together to start, for me, telling a story, kind of building a story or more of a narrative around these characters that have been the focus of the previous work.
他这一次的系列呢，就他之前有尝试过很多超现实主义的创作，然后但他这一次是强调更多的是有故事性，然后更多的是他人物跟人物之间的互动。
Yeah, so this one in particular, I've taken, these characters came from kind of drawings that I had done over the past few years, and in some ways I kind of have viewed it as each of these kind of figures almost represents like an alphabet. It's almost, when I was younger, I was very into graffiti and tagging, and there's kind of like a language or an alphabet that you're using, and these characters kind of represent that. So I'm taking those characters, putting them in the space, and building these light energies around them. But they're also combined with these still life elements. Sorry, it's too much. For example, the bird, you'll see some birds in some of them, and those, I recently made a big life move from across the United States to move to a different place from Portland to Asheville. But in my new home, this is one of the birds, for example, that you see there. But it also, these elements are from like still lifes. It's kind of a nod to that concept we talked about around vanitas, or like which essentially it's like this old style that Dutch painters used to do, where it's almost like a reminder that life is not. It's kind of a lot. Sorry.
就是可以看到他的创作里面呢，就是你会发现他多了更多有生命的元素在里头，但是你会看到呢，就主要跟那个有呼应的那个角色是这个，那他想要呈现的是一个 alphabet 在英文里面算是一个字母，但其实它更广义是一种元素的一个概念。所以其实他想要强调的就是说，它这个是不同的元素，他想要呈现，但是你会看到它有光，就是他讲的 light energy， 所以它多了这个光晕，它有产生那个生命力。那不同于就是之前的创作是只有人物，它这个还有更多，你们有看到有些有生命力的东西，像什么植物、鸟。这是有生命力的，还有甚至有人像，因为他想要强调的是，在这个还有水果，就是这些生命，但是生命的同时呢，它不是永恒的，所以他想要提醒我们，就是生命是有限的。那为什么他在这个元素这个画作当中有多了这些元素？是因为在过去的这一段时间呢，他经历人生中的一个改变，就是他搬家。他搬了整个美国，就是横跨整个美洲，就是北美。然后他这个鸟呢，是出现在他的新家的一个鸟，所以他就是把这个日常生活中的元素就画进了他的创作里。所以其实我刚刚有跟艺术家特别的交流，就是说，其实去看了很多画展之后，都会发现艺术家的创作是与时俱进，其实是根据他的生命当中不同的历程，所以会有不同元素在那当中。那其实刚刚他也有提到 ，and you also mentioned about these, right?
Yes.
It's from the idea is from your daughter, right?
Characters. Each one of these new paintings has a pixelated art. Some of them are drawn from video games. This one, obviously, well, if you know, Among Us. And a lot of that is actually inspired by Nix, who also has her work is upstairs. She's huge inspiration for me. I mean, just not only her, the children's approach to making art. They don't overthink it. It's just, they do it, it's like the joy of making art. It's just, almost every child does it. But she's been into making pixelated art lately, and so that was kind of a nod to her as well.
So the stolen her idea.
Yeah, exactly.
OK， 就是你看他的画作里面，有时候看到一些不同的元素，像是这个，是不是跟我们小时候玩那个就是 video game 很像嘛？就是这个 idea 是因为来自于他的女儿在玩那些游戏的时候的一些发想，所以我刚刚就开玩笑说，你是不是偷了你女儿的一些想法这样？然后所以就是他的创作有时候灵感是来自于他的女儿。I'm curious, how old is your daughter?
She is 8.5.
8.5，他现在8岁，所以他过去的创作是很被他的女儿所激发他的想法这样。
Is there any special reason for you to put the same paint in your paintings? I mean, for this one, that all the same.
A lot of these, for all these 7 new works, I've been very much into pattern work for a long time, and initially, some of these are patterns that I drew, like existing patterns from like old wallpaper or something like that. But then, as I was working on these, I kind of evolved that and realized I could essentially take, like I have old sketchbooks filled with drawings, and so I was able to take some very old, like very freak drawings that I made and put them as wallpaper, which was so nice for me because it allowed me to kind of explore this. The wall became this freeform place where I could just draw.
So it's also one of the artifacts that you have, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
他刚刚提到说，就是他的创作里面，你会发现他有很多重复的这种 pattern， 就是算是模型吧 ，pattern 算是就是重复的模板。然后，因为他这些的灵感是来自于壁纸 wallpaper， 然后但是它同时有一些其他一些小的元素，就是你们可以在其他的画作也看到，甚至像有一些是像是瓷砖，就是一些重复的元素。那就是它的灵感是来自于一些绘画的书，就是它有一些那种就是绘画就是绘画的书里面，他得到了这些灵感，还有壁纸。然后刚还要补充一点，就是他说他这个元素啊是来自于他的女儿，是因为他就发现他观察他女儿在创作的时候，他没有特别的原因，他就是因为 joy， 就是快乐 ，because of joy，right？ 就是没有任何的目的，他就是享受那个当下，所以他也想要他的创作当中可以回归到这种儿童创作，就是因为来自于喜悦。Yeah, joy.
Yes, exactly. Should we move on to another?
Yeah, 我们要大家有没有什么问题针对这一幅？
Hi, it's Michael, and we're back with the artists. Wonderful opening. It's lots of fans here, and we even had a proposal, which
I know,
was so
that
wonderful.
was so exciting. The couple had met for the first time
At your
show,
first show here,
about 3 years ago.
and now they're together, and the man proposed to the woman. She said
yes.
She said yes. We were all nervous about that. That's the first I've ever seen at an opening.
I've never seen it either.
Yeah, so it was a fun time. Now this show is called Compartments, and you gave a little intro talking about how the inspiration kind of video game levels, and we talked about the materials. I cannot say enough good things about it. I saw the picture on Instagram, but you really have to come up and see it. And you'll see in the video the one I'm talking about with the bird. And it's just so interesting because you were saying you're a realistic painter before with oil. So it looks like you've got a pair, like almost like a still life of fruit, and then you've got a kind of comic booky in the background. So I love the mix.
Yeah, that's definitely what I'm essentially trying to bring together all these different styles and techniques that I've been
Right.
kind of coordinating over the years.
Right, and just mixing them up in great paintings. So this is your second solo show here at Vins, and we're hoping for more. And it's wonderful to meet you. I'm so glad I got to come today. And if you get a chance, this show is here until July 5th. I highly recommend it. You really have to see these paintings in person. Enjoy your time here. Great to meet you.
Thanks so much, Michael.
We'll
Yeah.
be Instagram friends now, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.